For those who don't know me, my name's John King. I'm one of the hosts for the event this evening. James is a good friend of mine, and I just want to say thank you so much, first of all, to the Valletta family for hosting us.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I also want to thank everyone here for coming out. I know it's hot, I know the traffic's bad, and there's a lot going on in the summer months, so I thank you all for coming out, for supporting James. You know, for me this is really important. In addition to James being a good friend of mine, we were actually introduced back in, I think, 2012 by Mitch Jacobson, who's also here, a business leader, community leader in Austin. And at his urging, we met for lunch, I think it was at Leaf on 2nd in San Antonio. And I remember this not necessarily because of the love at first sight sparks that flew, which definitely happened, but because I asked him to do something for me that day, and it was really strange for me to do that. You know, first time meeting James, had a big ask for him, and I didn't go into the meeting having this ask, but within 10 minutes of talking with him, I immediately knew. I said, I was on the board of the Young Chamber of Commerce. For those who don't know, the Young Chamber is the largest young professional organization in Austin, and it does a lot of work in the community to really help support the next generation of Austin leaders. And upon meeting James, within 10 minutes of that conversation, I said, we need this guy for our organization. And not only that, we need him as a leader on our board. And that was really rare, because the Young Chamber really only recruits board members from within the organization, members who have been with the organization for a long time. But I just knew immediately. I said, I've got to have James on the board. And within a few months, he was on the board. And he did a lot of work for the organization. The organization has done, you know, more work in the last few years with James on the board. It's probably in the whole history. And in getting to know James, I got to know that this wasn't just something he did for us. He did in everything, all of his endeavors, with the Planning Commission, with the Black Austin Democrats, with his church, with the Neighborhood Association at Mueller. I mean, this is a guy who's just tireless, selfless, devotee to the community. And he's a really unique leader, and you know, he's got all the qualifications and the things that we read about leaders, the devotion to community, the commitment, he does the work, he knows how to delegate, you know, he can communicate. But there's a few things about James that I just are out of this world, and I look at him and I say, I don't even know how he does it. And a few, it's his efficiency, his energy, his ability to inspire others, and really more than anything is his positive attitude. You know, and sometimes for those of us who know James, his positive attitude is overflowing at times. And there are times when I'm like, man, James, life is good, but life is not this good all the time. Man. But what I've learned about James is that his positive attitude is a result of his gratitude. You know, and his gratitude really inspires him. It gives him the energy to do all that he does. And doing all that he does requires him to be super efficient. And so getting to know James, getting to work with James, inspires me, as I know it inspires so many people here, to be better than I otherwise would be. I mean, James is, I consider him a great friend, but also a mentor to me. And so I encourage us all, we're here tonight to support him. But after tonight, let's continue to support him. Let's get out there, get our neighbors to support him, our friends to support him. We got to get our wallets out. I don't think that there's a limit on the county race, so don't be shy. Let's be generous. You know, the one thing that I will say, I'm going to let James talk about his background and what he plans to do on the Commissioner's Court and all those things, because there's a lot that I want to learn about the Commissioner's Court as well. But the one thing I do know is James is running for Precinct One, a seat that's been held by Ron Davis for 2 decades now. And Ron has done a lot for the precinct, and when you look at the County Commissioner's Court, it's made up of an older generation of folks, which is great. There's a lot of good experience on there. But it's not necessarily representative of the demographic of Travis County. And as we've seen in the last city election, our community is demanding, is requiring, is desiring that demographic representation. And so when we look at what Travis County is made of, what Precinct One is today and is becoming, James really embodies that. And we need his leadership. We need it not only for Precinct One, but for the whole county, for all of Travis County. As a native Austinite, I'm telling you, we need James' leadership the same way that I knew the day that I met you that we needed you for AYC, and you made it so much better than it already was. We need you for Travis County. We need to put all of our effort on the line for him because he's going to do the same for Travis County. So please welcome.